Well, the day we thought would never come has finally arrived.
Let's see what you got.
The Fast and Furious franchise is coming to an end.
And it's over.
Whether you're mourning the loss or celebrating its demise, there's no denying that the end of the Fast and Furious is truly the end of an era. Even if you never watched a single movie, they have been around for 20 years, and that is truly saying something. But now that we know that they're wrapping up for good, we have to wonder, how will it all end? We've got all the predictions, theories, possibilities, and more right here for you. So keep watching to find out just how it'll all go down. Before we look into the future of Fast and Furious, we thought we'd take a quick moment to look back on all that the franchise has accomplished so far. For a series of movies that have come to define the car chase action genre, it actually started pretty humbly back in 2001. It was the dawn of a new millennium, and in the post-Y2K world of boy bands and some pretty regrettable wardrobe decisions, Paul Walker and Vin Diesel came roaring into our lives in The Fast and the Furious. The film followed Walker's Brian O'Connor, an undercover cop on a mission to infiltrate an underground street racing and carjacking circuit in Los Angeles led by Vin Diesel's Dominic Toretto. The film will go on to spawn two sequels, Too Fast, Too Furious in 2003 and The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift in 2006, before undergoing a big change for all of the following movies. What started out as 3 films about street racing became an ever more elaborate story involving over-the-top heists and international espionage. And 5 more sequels were born, leading us right up to today, where we anxiously await the arrival of F9, the, you guessed it, 9th movie in this epic saga. And that's not even including spin-offs. The franchise has added some seriously massive stars to its already impressive cast, including Charlize Theron, Kurt Russell, Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham, and Helen Mirren, along with the already awesome Tyrese Gibson, Ludacris, Michelle Rodriguez, and Sung Kang. They have traveled the world, infiltrated government operations, taken down a cyber terrorist, and blown a whole lot of stuff up. And if the trailer for F9 isn't deceiving us, they'll be bringing back Han Lu, one of the best beloved characters in the entire franchise, back from the dead. Now that it's been confirmed that we'll be getting 2 more yet untitled Fast and Furious films before the franchise drives off into the sunset forever or ends in a fiery blaze of glory, we can't help but wonder what else they could possibly get up to for the 2 final movies. What we know for sure is that these 2 movies are already in good hands. It has been made official that both Fast 10 and 11 will be written by Chris Morgan and directed by Justin Lin. Morgan himself has written 6 of the previous films, and Lin has directed 5, including F9. So with these 2 at the helm, there's no doubt in our minds that they're going to give us and the crew the ending that they deserve. And speaking of crew, we have to wonder just who will be coming back for these final 2 films. Setting aside the obvious fact that they'll be led by Vin Diesel's franchise anchor Dom, we're pretty sure that we can expect to see much of the old gang sticking it out till the end. Gibson, Ludacris, and Rodriguez have been staples of every movie so far, so it just wouldn't be the same without them. But there are a few loose ends that do require tying up. For example, at the end of Fast 8, Dwayne Johnson's Hobbs made the announcement that he was retiring, and the actor confirmed off camera that his character would not be appearing in Fast 9. And of course, there is the notorious feud between himself and Diesel that may have led to this development, after Johnson called out Diesel on Twitter criticizing his behavior on set. The tension is apparently so high that neither actor would film a single scene together during Fast 8, which became obvious to anyone who watched the movie. But we have to wonder if they'll bring him out of retirement for one or both of the final films, seeing as it was the introduction of Hobbs and the chemistry between the 2 actors that really helped to jumpstart the franchise all the way back in Fast 5. And then of course there's Jason Statham's Shaw. Not only was Shaw in Fast 8, he was a very legitimate member of the crew, seemingly solidifying his place in the franchise. On top of that, we happened to meet 2 other members of his family as well, his mom and his brother. And while we saw no sign of him in the F9 trailer, we can't ignore the quick glimpse we got of his mother Magdalene, played by Helen Mirren. Could this be an indicator that the Shaw family is going to become an increasingly important part of the final 3 Fast and Furious films? It is already set up to be quite the family affair, so it's not totally outside the realm of possibility. And speaking of family, we couldn't not address the other super muscular, nearly bald man in the room, John Cena. Based on the F9 trailer, we know that Cena will feature as the main antagonist spurred on by Cypher, Dom's long-lost brother Jacob. Jacob is referred to as a master thief, assassin, and a high-performance driver, and we see him go head-to-head with Dom and prove himself a terrifying opponent. While the trailer for F9 leads us to believe that he is out to end Dom's life and that Dom might in turn have to destroy his brother in order to survive, we have to wonder if that would be a storyline that even this franchise couldn't come back from. In order for Dom to remain the hero, we don't know how audiences would react to seeing him kill his own brother. And now that we know that there will be 2 more films, there's no way that Jacob will end up taking out Dom. Could it be possible that these 2 brothers might actually work it out and then work together to take down Cypher, the woman behind it all? And if so, it would seem like a natural fit for Cena to join the F&F crew for at least one of their final movies, especially if Hobbes, Shaw, or both will be absent.
Yeah, we could've.
Yeah.
2 other characters that we hope we get to see more of are Kurt Russell's Mr. Nobody and his surprisingly hilarious right-hand man, Eric, played by Scott Eastwood. The dynamic between Eric and Dom's crew was just too good not to explore any further, and one fan theory could give an exciting reason to bring him back. Fans of Fast 8 couldn't help but notice that Eastwood bore a striking resemblance to the most iconic and forever missed character in the entire saga, Paul Walker's Brian. Some wonder if there could be a reveal in our future that Eric might be related to Brian in some way, which would be a nice way to honor the character and the actor in the end. There's no way they can end the franchise without at least a nod to him, and this could be a great way to do it. Now, if you're wondering to yourself why we haven't yet addressed the undead elephant in the room yet, well, wait no further. Of course, we have to talk about Han. Fast and Furious fans got the surprise of their lives when at the very end of the F9 trailer, Letty walked into the room and welcomed back the cult favorite character Han Lu, who supposedly died at the end of Tokyo Drift at the hands of Shaw. Since the trailer made it a point to declare that there would be justice for Han, there is no doubt in anyone's mind that we will see some kind of showdown between Han and Shaw. The question is only when, and of course, how? Han's return brings up a whole lot of questions, but the biggest one is definitely, how did he just come back from the dead? Well, fans have come up with a lot of reasonable explanations for his reappearance, but when has the Fast and Furious franchise ever been reasonable about anything? Our absolute favorite theory is that this already epic series is about to do what we never thought possible: invent time travel.
Time travel!
Oh yeah, that's right. Some think that they're about to go faster and more furiously than anyone has ever gone before. Straight into the future. Or into the past to rescue Han from his fate at the end of Tokyo Drift. And while some might think that it's just too far-fetched even for this crew, we aren't writing any theory off until we see the movies in person. And why not, right? They've done just about everything they could possibly do within the laws of physics, so maybe it's time to bend them a little. Even if they don't decide to make their next car a souped-up DeLorean, maybe in the next 2 movies they might think about investing in something a little more out of this world. Oh yeah, we're talking about spaceships. One of the other very popular theories among fans is that now that Dom and his crew have done just about everything there is to do on Earth, they might be headed on a bigger, even more dangerous mission into space. Longtime writer Chris Morgan has actually been asked this question a few times and has interestingly never actually said no. Now sure, he might just be playing with our minds, but in an interview he offered a little tidbit that could either be a joke or the craziest Fast and Furious plotline of all time. When discussing the topic of sending the crew to space, Morgan stated that he would only do so if he had an idea that was so good. And then he casually asked the question, what if Dom's long-lost brother Richard B. Riddick showed up? For those who don't know, Riddick is Vin Diesel's second most famous character from the Chronicles of Riddick trilogy. Now, the introduction of one long-lost brother after another might be far-fetched, but the idea that in the final films of the Fast and Furious saga, we could see Vin Diesel fight Vin Diesel in space is almost too much to handle. Now, sure, they might decide to go on a slightly more grounded route to finish out this saga, but come on! If any movie franchise is capable of such an insanely awesome and totally ridiculous storyline, it's this one. There are so many possibilities possibilities for where these last two movies could go, even if they do have to keep one-upping each other in order to meet expectations. Some hope that we will see the crew head to China for an epic final race, which would actually make sense seeing as how the Chinese film market has been a huge champion of Fast and Furious since the beginning. Others are rooting for more of Charlize Theron's Cypher, and seeing as how they have possibly the best female action star at their disposal, it would be a good idea to let her actually do some fighting in the future. And Michelle Rodriguez has been vocal about the need to give the female characters more to do than sit in the passenger seat. However they decide to finish out this record-breaking franchise, one thing is clear. These movies have made a massive impact, and fans everywhere will be along for whatever kind of ride they choose to take us on. Well, we never thought we'd say it, but we're gonna be a bit sad to live in a world without Vin Diesel in the gang. What about you? Are you gonna miss the Fast and Furious franchise? Or are you bidding good riddance to the whole thing? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to keep up with all the latest videos from Screen Rant.